Health Talk, made simple by Aziz. She missed dialysis for just a few days and almost lost her life. For millions of people with kidney failure, a dialysis machine isn't just technology. It's a lifeline. It does the job their kidneys no longer can, cleaning toxins and removing excess fluid from their blood. But what happens when that lifeline is disconnected? This is the story of Mary. Mary was 64 years old, a kind woman who had been on dialysis for 3 years. Her life was a strict schedule of treatments, 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time. But she was dependent on others for a ride. One week, her regular driver got sick. Then the backup couldn't make it. The days started to slip by. She felt helpless, watching the phone, hoping for a call that never came. She missed her Monday treatment. Then Wednesday. By Friday, she had missed 3 treatments in a row. Inside her body, a silent crisis was unfolding. Without dialysis, toxins that her kidneys should have removed were building up, poisoning her from the inside. Her blood potassium levels were rising to dangerous heights, threatening to stop her heart. Gallons of fluid that she drank but couldn't excrete were beginning to collect in her tissues. Her body was starting to shut down. She came to the emergency room in the middle of the night, gasping for air. She was in a state of panic, telling the nurses she felt like she was drowning. And she was. Her lungs were filled with fluid, a condition called pulmonary edema. Every breath was a struggle, a wet, gurgling sound that terrified her. But that wasn't all. Her legs were extremely swollen, shiny, and tight. They had tripled in size. When we pressed a finger into her skin, the indentation stayed there, a sign of severe fluid overload. Her body was waterlogged and her heart was straining to pump against all that extra volume. There was no time to waste. We had to do emergency dialysis. This isn't like a regular treatment. It requires a special, large catheter placed into a major vein in her neck or groin, a direct line to her circulation to pull off fluid as fast as safely possible. We initiated the treatment and began to remove the excess water. Over the next several hours, we removed 5 liters of fluid. To put that in perspective, that's more than 2 large soda bottles worth of water that was suffocating her lungs and straining her heart. She was not out of the woods yet. Her body was in shock. She was weak, and her electrolytes were dangerously imbalanced. She needed dialysis every day for a week just to survive. Each day, we cleaned her blood, slowly removing more fluid, and watched as her body began the long, slow process of recovering. Her breathing eased. The swelling in her legs subsided. The fog of toxins began to lift from her mind. Missing dialysis is not a small thing. It can be life-threatening. Mary survived, but her story is a critical warning. If you or someone you love is on dialysis, you must have a plan. And a backup plan. And a backup for your backup. Talk to your social worker, your family, and your friends. Your treatment is not optional. It is your life. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Stay tuned for more videos about kidney failure. Health Talk, made simple by Aziz. They thought he had dementia, but they were wrong. The human brain is the most complex organ we know. But sometimes when it starts to malfunction, the cause isn't in the brain at all. The problem can be hiding in a completely different part of the body. This is the story of John. John was a dialysis patient who, for various reasons, had started missing his scheduled treatments. When he was brought to the hospital, he wasn't complaining of pain or shortness of breath. The problem was his mind. He came in confused, not making sense. He couldn't remember his name, where he was, or what day it was. His speech was slurred and disorganized. He was agitated, and his hands had a slight, uncontrollable tremor. Faced with an older patient with acute confusion, the initial thought from the staff was a mental problem. Had he developed sudden, aggressive dementia? Was it a psychiatric breakdown? The team was preparing to consult the psychiatry service, believing this was an issue of the mind. But one crucial piece of the puzzle didn't fit. A junior doctor on the team decided to run a full set of blood tests, including a check of his kidney function. The results came back, and they were staggering. His BUN, or blood urea nitrogen, a key marker of toxins in the blood, was extremely high, around 150. For context, a normal Bunn level is under 20. John's blood was saturated with toxins. This was not dementia. This was severe uremia, a condition also known as uremic encephalopathy. This is what happens when the toxins that your kidneys are supposed to filter out build up to such a high level that they cross the blood-brain barrier and begin to poison the brain itself. The brain's cells can't function properly in this toxic environment, leading to the exact symptoms John was experiencing: confusion, memory loss, agitation, and even physical tremors. The diagnosis changed everything. The consult to psychiatry was canceled. This was a medical emergency, not a mental one. Dialysis was started immediately. We needed to clean his blood and fast. The first session was intense. As the machine's filter, the dialyzer, began to pull the urea and other toxins out of his bloodstream, we watched him closely. The change wasn't instant, but after the first treatment, the agitation began to subside. After the second, his speech became a little clearer. After a few sessions, he became completely normal again. The man who just days before couldn't remember his own name was now sitting up, having a clear conversation and asking when he could go home. It was like watching a fog lift, revealing the person who had been hidden underneath. Kidney failure can affect your brain, not just your body. John's story is a powerful reminder that confusion or abrupt mental changes in a kidney patient should never be dismissed. It can be a life-threatening sign of severe uremia. The solution isn't a psychiatrist. It's the dialysis machine that acts as their missing kidney function. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Stay tuned for more videos about kidney failure. Health Talk, made simple by Aziz. In our last two videos, we shared the powerful stories of Mary and John. Mary, who nearly died from fluid overload after missing her treatments, and John, whose family thought he had dementia when he was actually suffering from severe uremia. These aren't just stories, they are life lessons. Today, we're going to turn those lessons into an action plan to keep you or your loved ones safe on dialysis. Let's recap the two most important takeaways. The first, from Mary's story, is that dialysis is not optional. When you miss a treatment, your body can't get rid of excess fluid and toxins. This can lead to a life-threatening emergency like pulmonary edema, where your lungs fill with fluid. The rule is simple: never miss a treatment. Your body can't wait. The second lesson from John's story is that kidney failure profoundly affects the brain. Sudden confusion, disorientation, or personality changes should never be dismissed as just a mental issue in a dialysis patient. It is a medical emergency until proven otherwise. It could be uremia, and the treatment is immediate dialysis. So, what can you do to prevent these crises? Here is your action plan for safe dialysis. First, and most critically, build a backup transportation plan. This was the single point of failure for Mary. Don't have one way to get to your treatment. Have three: a primary driver, a backup driver, and a third option, like a taxi or a rideshare service you know how to use. Program the numbers into your phone. Write them down. Never let transportation be the reason you miss your lifeline. The two most critical signs are severe swelling and sudden confusion. If your legs swell up dramatically, if you suddenly gain several pounds in a day or two, or if you feel increasingly short of breath, call your doctor or your dialysis unit. Likewise, if you or a family member on dialysis becomes suddenly confused or disoriented, it's a reason to seek immediate medical help. Third, remember that you are not alone. A diagnosis of kidney failure is overwhelming, and managing dialysis is a team sport. Lean on your support system. This includes your family, your friends, and especially your dialysis social worker. Their job is to help you solve problems like transportation, insurance, and emotional support. Let them help you. Finally, communicate with your healthcare team. No question is a stupid question. If you don't understand your diet, your medications, or your lab results, ask. If you feel unwell, report it. Problems are much easier to solve when they are caught early. You are the most important member of your healthcare team. Living with kidney failure is a challenge, but it is manageable. Mary and John's stories were emergencies that could have been prevented. By having a plan, knowing the signs, building a support system, and communicating with your team, you can take control of your health. Dialysis is a treatment that allows you to live. So please take these lessons to heart and empower yourself. If you found this series helpful, please subscribe and share it. You never know whose life you might save.